There's the box. It's boxy. It came last night. Today is Sunday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. We went to see my family yesterday, and we came home. This wasn't on the back porch. My wife took the dog out. She came in with this. This is a big box. I'm like, yep, honey, it sure is. And I whisked it away from her, and she'll never see it again. Hopefully she doesn't ask questions. I told her it's from China. It's been on a slow boat. She just nodded and smiled and went and watched whatever was on TV last night. There's the actual product box. It's supposed to look like some kind of Foot Locker or something. It doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to throw it out. I got to tell you, it's a big box. Not as big as like the Valverse box, but for the Vanguard, but it's not as big as a Haslab box. But it's big. There's the inner box, if you can call it that. It's the kind of foam that they used to pack the Planet X Transformers in. Here's the sticker sheet. I don't know how many of these stickers I'm going to use. I don't know. So I don't know. So the numbers. I'm afraid to put numbers on because this tank has to be a lot of tanks, right? So it's whoever's tanks I'm taking a picture with. So yeah. So let me get this out of here. All right, and there it is. I actually filmed this. I'm refilming this segment today. I filmed it yesterday, but I had like two people and a dog pop in on me. The dog was barking at somebody all day. It was a real like just disaster, so to speak. So I figured I'd go ahead and redo this. I wasn't happy with it. I kind of speed ran through it simply because I wasn't enjoying it. So I'm back and we're taking a look at this thing. This is the RAV Hunter. This thing goes together like super easy. This is a separate piece. This is a separate piece, and these antennae are separate pieces. And they just everything just kind of pops on. This is like kind of the most difficult thing to get on, and it's really not that hard. It's keyed at the top, and it fits really snug. All right, so no worries there. Yeah, and this thing just pops on and off. Well, it did. Well, it pops on and off. Trust me. I'm kind of reaching. Anyway, it just goes on super easy. Is my point. So yeah, yeah, this is it. Like that. And this thing attaches, just has magnets. Magnets. See, and that just goes on like that. There's actually a reason for that. Like I thought he thought Ace was being slick here, but no, there's a reason for that. Now on the exterior, there's not a lick of paint. This thing is just what you see is what you get. Anything colored on the outside is just different plastics and different molded colors, which actually is fine because if you look at military equipment, not a whole lot of color contrast unless it's camouflaged. So, and you do have some nice detail in here, like looking at the profile here. It's got some nice stuff going on here. The wheels are, yeah, these black bits are different bits of molded plastic. The treads are rubber, and each one of these is on a spring. So you kind of get this action, which is actually pretty nice. I mean, that's something to do, and it rolls. Like, I mean, he has that figured out. Yeah, so we'll look at the front here. This is where it kind of gets, you kind of get a little squirrely here on the space. I try to do like an over the shoulder thing, but then you kind of see like the horrible mess of this room because I've been taking stuff out and looking at it and not putting it back properly. And I open figures, just put them in my bag, throw them in a box. And I have like several different boxes with random figures with no rhyme or reason, and I don't mean to ramble on about that. So it's got this thing. This rotates. It's like its the periscope sensor doohickey that I should know the name of, but I don't. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's got These headlights are clear plastic pieces. It's got these little. These things are like these things come off super easy. Like that just flips off. It's just it's got like a little flip thing. Flip. But that's like if you chain it up to something and pull something out or whatever. Uh, yeah, and let's see here, going around the other side. It seems pretty uniform both sides, which is fine. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, that's nice. It's like I said, tank's not supposed to have a whole lot of like distinguishing details on the outside because it's basically just armor plated, right? And then you got the back end here. You got the red clear plastic. For that, you got more of these trailer hook, these things. You got this thing that I'm assuming I can get the. I'm assuming I can get the MMS hooked up to this. We'll try that later. It's got little mud flaps. That's kind of nice. This black vent here, engine vent, is black molded plastic. Let's see here. Now the turret does rotate 360. It doesn't. It's not blocked by anything. It's got this thing here. This machine gun's actually really nice. This is molded. These are all molded together. I don't know if this is painted or glued. I think it's glued. See, I told you it came right off. Yeah, this is glued. This is painted here. This bit, the bullets, and then but this is painted. No, I'm sorry. Take it back. This is painted. This is molded green plastic and it's glued in, which is fine because then we don't lose it. I'll put this back. It's keyed also. Let's see here. Okay. This just goes back in. It only goes in one way, which is nice. There it goes. All right, and then you got your thing, and it's got the gunner seat for the tank commander. So, and we'll put him in now. Spin this back around. Oh, I'll show you that in a second. And this, I got his pouches swiveled forward only because that's space is a little tight inside too. With the, I'll show you with the crewman. It gets a little tight, and then he can. Got that action going on. Also, you got this little bit here is a machine gun bit for the turret. If you play Battlefield, you know what that is. Yeah, so that's basically the outside. And like I said, I'm not putting any effort or any pressure on it. I've seen people like on like hardwood floors or something like a really smooth surface, like have to like push down a little bit, but it doesn't take much. All right, the next feature is this turns. Now this turret is keyed. This turn that you'll see there's like a little, and then this just pops off. And inside you have the crew. I stuck a couple of my green shirts in. Yeah, these guys. Space is a little tight. You gotta get the feet just right, which I don't have them just right. But so that's what the crew looks like in there. And the only bits of that looks like a decal. I don't know if it's decal or it's painted, but see if you can see it. Here, this way. All right. So you got the controllers are. These control bits are painted, and then you got, I don't know if these are decals or temp. It looks like decals, but really nice ones. If they're decals, they're super nice. And then these things turn, but there's a, you see that here. This piece here, it doesn't move. The only thing I kind of wish is if they would have put like a third seat, like you presumably Steeler would sit in a third seat. Yeah, obviously there's no space for that, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish this whole thing was a bit longer. Like if it was like came out like this far, and these guys would sit forward of the turret, like, or have like one like seat for a driver, and then Steeler would presumably sit down into into the other seat. I would have liked that, but I understand too. Like, molds are expensive, and if you probably got this, probably is as big as he could afford mold wise. So he probably didn't want to do that, which is fine. And I wouldn't have chosen white for this, but it's fine. But you see everything real well. Let's see what else are we looking at here. They said then this just goes back on. See if I can do this real quick. There it goes. And that's it. And then I know he put out a call like on the ramen website if somebody had an idea, like, because like when you spin this, like this will just come off. Like you gotta kind of like not be careful, but you know it's made to come off easy. The problem is it comes off easy. So, and we put out a call on the website seeing if somebody had any ideas on like how to engineer that. And I know a couple people got back to him. So maybe in the next iteration of this, he'll have a retool where that issue's fixed. It's not really an issue. It's fine. One other feature I forgot to show you is this thing. Like I said, this goes on here, and this swivels up, and this opens up. This guy spins around. Oh, see the problem. Like I said, there we go. And it's not really an issue. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And it's like that, and that. And then he's ready for travel, because the tanks, when they're just traveling down a highway, they don't travel barrel first. This is how they go. Or if they're on a flatbed train car or a flatbed truck, this is how they travel. He didn't have to include that. It's kind of a neat little kind of thing. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, this thing's super basic. It doesn't, what you see is what you get, which is fine. It doesn't feel cheap at all. Everything feels like it's quality plastic. He's done a really good job. I know this is kind of a second on. He had that Ramen Racer. Oh, I got the name right. I couldn't remember for the longest time. Ramen Racer, which is real successful as a vehicle. A lot of people love that thing. Yeah, so you know what? Let me stop it there, and I'll throw some GI Joe vehicles as comparisons. One moment. All right, so that's what it looks like next to the Vamp and the Ostriker. I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks a lot better next to these vehicles than I thought it would. Like this will go right in with your GI Joe, vehicle fleet. That's not too bad at all. Brown level, see here. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. That works. I thought the Vamp would be a lot higher. Be like it would be a lot taller against the tank, but it's not. It's good. Well, I'm shocked. I just literally just the first time I did this, and I'm shocked that it looks so good. Let's we'll throw them next to the Vanguard, just because the Vanguard is more. It's around the size of the Hiss tank. I have a Hiss, but I don't. It's not open, so. The Vanguard dwarfs this damn thing. But this looks like an SUV. It's not. It's an armored truck. So, I mean, you gotta keep that in mind. Also, this is more of a true 112, 111 scale than in fact, I think it's actually overscaled compared to the Rosvani tank is. But yeah, man, I mean, like I said, that's like I said, the Vanguard's a different animal. All right, let me clean up my space here, and oh wait, I forgot one thing. Hold on, wait a tick. Sticker sheet. This thing comes with directions, which, like I said, you don't really need. You can figure it out pretty quick. Comes with directions. I mean, look it over so you don't break something by accident, which, I mean, you shouldn't, but you never know. I mean, I'm dumb, and I've done dumb things. Comes with a sticker sheet, which is actually really nice. I probably won't use the numbers at all, only because I want to keep this guy generic as possible. I'll probably use these NATO symbols as I figure out like the placements of them, because I know it's like some sort of NATO designation, and depending on the direction, like I don't know. As soon as I understand it, I'll put it on. I'll use these stars. I'll probably use all these steps, no steps, and stay clear symbols, danger symbols. Um, yeah, use those stars, but I won't. I'll try to keep it as generic as possible. I may track down the GI Joe symbol, the from Rise of Cobra, the eagle on the like on the yellow shield. I really like that. I might track that down and put it on the tank just because it is going to be a GI Joe. Even if they issue a MOBAT, like do a Haslab MOBAT, MOBAT or something like that, then I'll still get the MOBAT. But this is definitely in my part of my GI Joe Armor Core. All right, hold on, be right back. And here's what it looks like with the figure standing next to it. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I also know that any bigger, he probably would have had to use a bigger like mold bulk, like a mold square of steel, and tooling steel is very expensive. So, and also you got to think about shipping and weight and all this other stuff. I'm glad he didn't put electronics in this thing because it was like a $200 tank. It made it into a $300 tank, and if he'd done the things I wish he would have done, like made it like 3 inches longer so he can put the drivers forward 3 or 4 inches longer, then you're talking it's a $400 tank. You put or that's another $100. That'd be a $300 tank. Uh, yeah, but I like this thing a lot. I mean, especially now that I've seen it next to the GI Joe vehicles, the Vamp and the Striker. Yeah, man, I love it. I mean, I couldn't be happier with this thing, really. Uh, I thought about painting it, maybe like putting like weathering and stuff. I know there's people that are doing that for other people, like Duarte Studios, if I'm saying that right. Is known that's a guy that's been like painting these up for people. Honestly, just get yourself a couple old GI Joe vehicles, old like busted up vintage vehicles, and just practice dry brushing, and so you'll get good enough soon enough. It doesn't take a lot of talent to do that. But if you want to pay somebody to do that, that's fine too. Uh, yeah, so this is a great vehicle. I'm really happy with it. I like I said, I would not have bought this if the HasLab this year had been the MOBAT. They went with the Snowcat, which is fine, except for me it seems like a weird pivot because I feel like they were the Snowcat was going to be a regular release, kind of like they're doing with the Arctic Hiss, where they're taking that HasLab Hiss tank mold and they are they're just like dressing it up as an Arctic Hiss, which some people are crying foul about that. They said, well, they never said they'd reissue a HasLab. Well, maybe they said that about other HasLabs. I don't think they ever said that about that. I think that's a smart move. The Arctic Hiss is being released without electronics, and I think it's just one figure, just to pilot. So I think that's smart. I think that thing needs to come in at $200 or lower. Actually, ideally, I would for that figure, that set, I would say 150 or 175, straight up 150, 175 for that. I would bet it comes in at 199.99, and I'm not in for an Arctic version. If they start doing that and it's successful, I will hold out for a blue version or another black version. I'll probably do another black version last if I had to guess if they do one. But if they do blue versions, I'll probably be in for two, and then I'm good on his tanks. I have a black one and two blue ones. I think that's good for that kind of thing. Um, yeah, like I said, if they ever do a MOBAT, I'm in for it, and just so it'll go right next to this thing. I will bet that the MOBAT is no bigger than this. Personally, I think Hasbro screwed up by not doing the MOBAT for the Snowcat because I would have bought that, and I would not have bought this. Now I think they left that open for someone like Ramen Toys and Ace to come out with something like this. I don't think they didn't do it because Ace was making a tank, Because I mean, how many units could you possibly made of this? Maximum 5,000. Think about a MOBAT Haslab. They'll set the goal at like 10, 15, and 20,000, right? So, and I can't believe like Ace would have made 5,000 of these. I bet you he made 2,000 of these, 1,000 of the black ones, 1,000 of the tan ones, if I had to guess, or maybe even 1,500 and 500 for the tan and the black one. Um, yeah. So also I threw this guy in the back. It's not. It won't stay stiff because the way this is designed, it doesn't lock here, so it just kind of sags. But it can be done. Uh, it looks sad though. I probably won't. I probably have the vamp tow this around. But all right. So yeah. So that's it. Make your own decisions, and the dog is coming in. Great. Okay, I'm out.